trends. Step 3, identifying the drivers. I think in terms of the scoping, maybe Dr. Ita ataupun Dr. Chandra have already told you what scoping the project means. Scoping is basically you determine the boundaries that your ataupun the scope of your research project, so that it is not too big until you are not able to manage the amounts of information that you have to consider for the project. And so you need to determine the boundaries, the time horizon, the kinds of technology that you are focusing on, and so on. And once you have determined the scope, then you have to identify the issues, trends, and termasuklah challenges, issues, trends, and challenges that are related to the technology that you have picked for your PSM project. And once you have collected all the information, relevant information related to the issues, trends, and challenges, then you have to identify the drivers that basically play a role that have that cause interrelationship between issues and trends. So what is basically STEEPV analysis? STEEPV analysis is a tool to gather and evaluate broad range of information that affect an organization. So that's why we need to identify the issues, trends, and challenges. Issues can be in terms of the negative repercussions or negative impact that a certain thing could have on an organization, on the way we do things, on our future standards of living, for example. And then trends, what are the current trends in terms of if you are looking at healthcare, the current trend among older generations in terms of their healthcare needs, in terms of the type of diseases that they that are often associated with the elderly. So those are the things that we can consider as a trend. And then the challenges are anything that could if that could hinder, that could prevent successful implementations of certain things. So that's why we need to gather all this information related to the issues, trends, and challenges, and we have to evaluate and assess how it relates to the topic that we have chosen. And we try to find interrelationship between all those issues, trends, and challenges. So basically, STEEPV analysis is used to examine threats, opportunities, challenges, trends, and likely future development of a certain topic ataupun a certain area. And we use the results of STEEPV analysis to predict what might happen in the future. So that's why we have to consider, we usually consider STEEPV factors as comprehensive enough for us to make sense of what is happening around us and how this what we are, where we are currently at will influence our future. So that's why we look at all these STEEPV factors. And we also do STEEPV analysis to help us deal better with an uncertain and complex future. Because basically this STEEPV, as I have mentioned earlier, are comprehensive enough because we consider all those social, technological, environmental, economic, political, and values factor that could affect an adoption, that could affect our future, that could affect an application, that could affect the success of a certain technology and the success of an organization. And so basically when we use STEEPV analysis, we are looking at the whole ecosystem within which an organization operate, within which we live. And the ecosystem include both internal and also the external factors. So these are, as you know, these are the STEEPV factors: social, technology, environment, economy, politics, and values. Apart from STEEPV, there are many other terms that are used to study this ecosystem. Some people use pastel, some people use S, but they are basically similar. And for site tools, for site study, we usually focus on STEEPV factors. So the external factors are factors beyond our control, and the internal factors are factors that are within our control. And the actors are the people or the stakeholders that are going to be affected by the external and also internal factors when it comes to the application, development, or adoption of a certain technology that we choose to study. Okay, so if we define the dimensions of the STEEPV factors, these are just an example. If you search, if you Google for STEEPV factors, you may find different descriptions or different uh, definitions of each of the dimensions. So what I can share here is social is related to ways of life. For example, use of leisure time, family living patterns, demographic structure, social inclusion and cohesion issues such as lifestyle level of inequality atau equality, educational trends, health consciousness, population growth, etc. And technological factors are related to technological progress, pace of innovation diffusion, risk of technology, problem technology incentives, etc. And then economic level and distribution of economic growth, industrial structures, petition, market competition, financial issues, purchasing power, exchange rates, and now the main issue related to economy is the tariff kan. So maybe you could also consider how the tariff war that are currently going on will affect future developments of a certain technology or the technology that you study for your PSM project. So the factors is not restricted to what I'm showing you here, but they can be many other specific factors under each dimension. Environmental factors include related to sustainability, climate change, environmental issues like pollution, resource depletion, resource use, associated biodiversity and welfare concerns, and political factors, political viewpoints, regulation, political instability, legal issues, government actions, lobbying, etc., and values. I think the factor that most people, not only students, but most people can get confused is related to values. Values is different than value. Values is related to nilai, nilai culture dan sebagainya kan. Value without S is something else. So be careful when you do the STEEPV analysis, because these two, value with F and with S and value without S, means two different things. Values is related to attitudes to working life, for example, such as entrepreneurialism, whether you appreciate, whether this is something that is embedded or encouraged in your society, in the community, for example, career aspirations, difference to authority, demand for mobility across job places, etc. In terms of your preferences for leisure activity, culture, social relations, etc. So they are related more with what you considered as nilai-nilai yang baik lah, nilai-nilai yang baik in your culture, ataupun nilai-nilai yang baik yang perlu ada dalam masyarakat. Okay, so it is different than value. So if you look at this this STEEPV dimensions and the descriptions ataupun examples of the dimensions, what can you think of other examples on how we can define this STEEPV? What else can we include as social factor or technological factor, economic factor, environment factor, political and values? Have you got any example from your own analysis, from your own STEEPV analysis? Anybody? Anyone?